President Muhammadu Buhari has announced that henceforth, June 12 will be celebrated as Nigerians' Democracy Day. The president announced this in a statement he personally signed in Abuja. According to him, since 1999, Nigeria has been celebrating May 29 as our Democracy Day. The president explained that the change in the date of Democracy Day celebration followed due consultation. He said, for the past 18 years, Nigerians have been celebrating May 29 as Democracy Day. That was the day when, for the second time in our history, an elected civilian administration took over from the military government. The first time this happened was October 21st, 1979, but in the view of Nigerians as shared by the administration, June 12, 1993 was far more symbolic for democracy in Nigeria. Accordingly, after the due consideration, the federal government had decided that henceforth June 12 will be celebrated as Democracy Day. Therefore, government had decided to award posthumously the highest honor of the land, GCFR, to the late Chief MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 cancelled election. His running mate as vice president, Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, is also to be invested with GCON. Furthermore, the tireless fighter of human rights and actualization of June 12 election, for democracy in general, late Chief Gani Fahimi's son, is to be awarded the GCON. The investiture will take place on Tuesday, June 12, 2018.
A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Dr. Cairo Ojubo, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari on his giant step to honor late Moshood Abiola by conferring on him a posthumous honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR. Dr. Ojubo gave the commendation at an interview with Pen Television in Abuja. He advised Nigerians, especially politicians and political parties, not to politicize the honor given to the late MKO Abiola, but rather supports the president.
I want to congratulate all Nigerians, especially Mr. President, on the posthumous award given to Chief MKO Abiola, the winner of the June 12th election. What should be done. And I want to congratulate the Abiola family and his children. I want to congratulate the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want to encourage Nigerians, to plead with Nigerians to give Mr. President the necessary support. Those who want to demean this development, it's quite unfortunate that Nigerians can attribute everything to politics. We must learn from advanced democracies where issues are taken based on merit and not on political lines.
Dr. Ojubo, who is also the governorship aspirant in Delta State under the platform of APC, said he will tackle the issue of corruption in the state if elected.
The first thing that the APC will do in Delta State is to tackle corruption. Since from 1999 to date, and especially in the last 3 years of the current administration in Delta State, the Delta State government has received about 1.2 trillion naira. And there is nothing on ground to show how the money has been spent. And as with Nigeria, if you don't tackle corruption, there will be no progress in this country. We have been where we have been for the last 60 years. Nothing to show for the humongous amount of money that we have received.
While making his voice known in the disagreement between the executive and the legislative, Dr. Cairo said corruption is fighting back.
Where I'm afraid for Nigeria All the issue about fight, National Assembly, executive, is about corruption. There's no disagreement. There's no political disagreement. It is just about corruption. How to fight corruption, the way forward. If you now, today, as you are a journalist, if you slap somebody or you go and embezzle somebody's money, the police will come and arrest you. All the journalists will come and gather together, they will come and support you. Oh, he's a journalist, well, that is, which is very wrong. Now, the same issue with Nigeria. You are a governor, you go into office, you embezzle the people's money. EFCC comes after you. Everybody they say is marginalization. You are a minister, you steal money. EFCC comes after you. They will say it's because of the part of the country you come from. If we continue like this, Nigeria will die.
In Abuja, LM Chukwamka reports.
Again, President Muhammadu Buhari has emphasized the need for voters' education as a way of ensuring free, fair, and credible elections in Nigeria. Speaking at the valedictory session of the Federal Executive Council meeting in honor of the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Kayode Fayemi, who is now the APC flag bearer for the Ekiti gubernatorial elections, President Buhari said, for the few times he has met with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakub, was to urge him to take seriously issues of voters' education so as to equip voters with the necessary information to make their choices. On his part, Dr. Fayemi thanked his colleagues in the Federal Executive Council for their support and encouragement, while promising to make the All Progressive Congress proud in the forthcoming gubernatorial elections in Ekiti State. Council members took time to eulogize the former governor for his contributions to national development.
Nigerian Senate has condemned a statement credited to the Minister of Defense, Dan Ali, who reportedly said that the killing in Benue and Taraba State is because of enactment of anti-grazing law. In reaction to the statement, the lawmaker condemned the purported statement and called for its withdrawal. Senator Barnabas Gamade, a lawmaker from Benue State, brought the matter before the Senate during the plenary. The Senate advised the Minister of Defense to withdraw a statement on anti-grazing law as it was enacted under the law of Benue State House of Assembly.
Strange to me that in the mind of the Minister of Defense of this nation, the only way he can solve the problem of hundreds and thousands of people being killed in the state of Benue and Taraba is that the law they made against open grazing of cattle, where you cannot control the conflict between herdsmen and farmers, should be removed, so that whatever semblance of a law to keep law and order should be removed, so that anarchy can go on as it was the case before. We think that this republic is being misadvised by those who have been given appointments to take responsibility for the good governance of this nation. And therefore, they must be called to order. We must also advise the Minister of Defense to promptly withdraw that statement and advise whichever body he claims has approved that request that he has now brought to the public domain.
All in respect of killings. It is very ridiculous to have associated these killings to the anti-grazing law that was passed by the two states. As ably submitted by my colleagues that have spoken before me, I am not sure. I want to believe maybe the minister was carried away by the camera before him while he was speaking. because in his home state, Zamfara, there is no anti-grazing law. And in fact, like Senator Gamade said, the killing that is going on in Zamfara is as much of the same volume as in Benue, or even more.
Dan Ali, the Minister of Defense, at a meeting with President Buhari, made the recommendation that the anti-grazing law should be suspended. He said the law was responsible for tension in some states of the Federation. Nigerian police has insisted that Senate President Bukola Saraki must appear in person before the investigator to be interrogated over alleged link to suspect arrested over a bank robbery. Police spokesman Jimoh Moshood told journalists in Abuja that the police did not ask Saraki to reply allegations leveled against him in writing. Moshood made this known while parading two more suspects recently arrested over the robbery. He said the police have arrested 2 out of the 3 suspects mentioned by the gang leader Ayuade Akinibusun during the parade of the suspect on June 3, 2018. Moshood said Ayuade mentioned 3 other suspects working according to him for Saraki, namely Kende Gobiri, AK Captain, Alhaji Oba Shuaib Olododo, AK Jawando, and Alhaji Doma. Moshood said the 2 of the suspects, Kende Gobiri and Oba Shuaib Olododo, are now in police custody and have admitted to various crime and criminality they have committed in Kwara Central Senatorial District under the guise of political thuggery for Senate President.
Ghana High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Rashid Bawa, has declared as untrue the recent statement credited to Nigerian former President Goodluck Jonathan, which added that Ghanaian President mocked the poor state of security in Nigeria as well as weakening status of the Naira. The Ghana envoy to Nigeria has made this known in an exclusive chat with Ben Television Abuja. Ambassador Rashid Bawa, while reacting to the statement, said the former president took the words of President Akufo-Addo completely out of context.
The attention of the Ghana High Commission in Nigeria, and indeed of the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been drawn to comments made by the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, to the effect that President Akufo-Addo has made disparaging remarks about Nigeria. It is important to stress that the comments made by the former Nigerian president at the inauguration of the first bridge built by the Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State in Edo, Ekiti, took the words of President Akufo-Addo completely out of context. Indeed, in the speech delivered by President Akufo-Addo at the Oxford African Conference, one of the instances used by the former President Goodluck Jonathan, these are the exact words of President Akufo-Addo. I begin with the quote. For most of you in the audience today, it is probably before your time, but in the late 1970s up to the mid-1980s, as a result of the discovery of considerable petroleum deposits, Nigeria was booming. It was the place to be. We Ghanaians, who were going through very difficult times then, will arrive at Heathrow Airport and be headed into a cage to be subjected to the full third degree by immigration, and we will look on as our Nigerian cousins will be waved through with a welcome sir and a welcome madam.
The ambassador also reacted to the statement made by former President Jonathan that Ghana is not Nigeria where cattle can roam about anyhow, saying that his country's president can never make such statement.
How then can anyone describe these words by President Akufo-Addo as intending to mock Nigeria? Again, the other alleged remark that Ghana is not Nigeria where cattle can roam about anyhow has never, I repeat, has never been made by President Akufo-Addo. That is not the way of his speaking. President Akufo-Addo, in many of his speeches he has made in Nigeria and elsewhere since becoming president of Ghana, has described Nigeria as, I begin with a quote, a country I describe as my second home in the world, end of quote. I will never use Nigeria to make negative examples as the former President Goodluck Jonathan sought to portray.
In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Senate has set up an investigation into the alleged treatment of women in ID camps by Nigerian soldiers in the Northeast. The upper chamber asked the ad hoc committee, which will be headed by the chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matter, David Umaru, to investigate the veracity of the report made by Amnesty International on the plight of these women and report back to the lawmaker. The resolution was reached during the plenary after Senator Shehu Sani, Kaduna Central, raised a point of order drawing the attention of the upper chamber to the report of Amnesty International. The report by the Amnesty International alleged Nigerian soldiers rape and torture women in ID camps. Senator Shehu Sani stated that the federal government dismissed the report. He has therefore asked the Senate to open an investigation into the report, which he says had the capacity of undermining Nigerian integrity and its fight against terrorism.
The National Coordinator of Project One Nigeria, Ambassador Hussein Kumasi, and his lover, Husseinia Ibrahim, sealed their long romance with a colorful wedding ceremony in Katsina State recently. The couple were joined in grand style with the high and mighty from Nigerians and abroad. The city of Katsina stood still for the wedding, described by those who attended as classy and strictly by invitation on the first day. Friends and well-wishers at the event wish them well.
The advice is not more than to say patient, patient, patient. Because it's only married when you do it, people will come and celebrate with you. It's just like a date. The moment they left, they leave you with their attitude and your behavior with their wife.
I'm wishing them what they are wishing for themselves. As they came together to get married, they are wishing well for themselves. So that's what I'm wishing for them.
Guests at the event was entertained by a cultural dance and also a dance from the couple. On the second day, the groom went on the bride's house to pay the dowry according to the tradition. Ambassador Kumasi, who later spoke with Band Television, voiced his mind on his newly wedded bride and how the journey began.
Anyway, it started 3 years ago, sometime in April 2015, yeah. We met in a gathering like this and it started, and thank God we are seeing the result today. So I'm so pleased getting married to somebody from that family. well respected and highly disciplined, Islamically and otherwise. She's the wonderful thing that has ever happened to my life, and because this is a lady that even before we get married, when she is right, as at the time we were dating, even whenever she's right and I was wrong, she will still apologize for peace to reign in courtship. So how do you see with somebody like this as your wife, what will be the outcome? If as a girlfriend or a fiancée will abide by your rules, how much more if she is your legally married wife? I think I'm expecting something fantastic from her. She's one of the wonderful people I've ever seen. She's okay.
In Katsina State, LM Chukwamaka reports.